What are the best Etsy niches to get into? We'll cover the 10 best ones in this video. All these niches are ones with lots of demand, so there's no shortage of sales if you start here. Now, I've covered several Etsy dropshipping tutorials so far, specifically on print-on-demand designs and how I was able to scale my Etsy store really quickly. I'll make sure to link that entire playlist at the bottom of the description if you want to learn more about it. One of the best things that you can do to build your store quickly is to go after proven designs that are already selling on the platform. That way you know that there's proof of sales with that design, and then you can put your own spin on it and improve it. This is nothing new, and I've talked about this in many of those tutorials. That said, there are certainly many benefits to picking a niche and sticking with it as well. The main ones being repeat customers, bundle purchases, meaning like several items in an order, not just one, and building brand authority. So that's why I want to cover the 10 best print-on-demand niches that you can start in and why. So first and foremost, we have the political niche. This is always divisive, and that's good for sales. It doesn't matter which side of the spectrum you fall on politically, these political t-shirts always sell well because people feel strongly about this topic and they're always willing to spend money to show that. The next one is one that's been blowing up for me ever since I started, and that's outdoor and recreational activities and sports. So examples of these are surfing, golfing, disc golf, camping, hiking, and others like that. People who do these outdoor recreational activities tend to buy shirts about them to display to other people that that's what they're into. And these sell very, very well. To this date, a random disc golf shirt is my best seller, and it hasn't slowed down. The third niche is more of like a broad sector, and that's whatever's trending. If you hit a sale at the right time, your sales can absolutely blow up. Although keep in mind that sales in this category tend to be less evergreen and happen more so in spikes as the trend hits, but then falls off. So a perfect example of one might be Squid Game t-shirts. If you listed Squid Game products now, chances are they wouldn't sell very well because there's a lot of Squid Game products out already, and the hype for it has significantly died down since the Netflix show aired a while back. But if you hit the ground running and you were one of the first few people to market, you could have definitely designed a shirt that would sell a bunch simply because it was a hot trend. So if you can keep your pulse on what's trending, you can certainly see success with this. And some people build their entire stores based around what's trending, which can work well, but then you have to constantly be focused on what's currently trending and constantly creating new designs. I personally prefer the evergreen sales route with designs that will last forever. That way, as you put more and more designs up, you'll consistently get more sales. The next niche that I'd recommend looking into is girl power. The reason this works so well is really simple, and it's the same reason why women's clothes sell a lot better on a site like Poshmark. Don't overthink it. There are way more women that shop on Etsy than men, so there's a lot more potential customers within this category. The next one is home goods and DIY projects. People buy a lot of things for their house, and they love to display those things in it. For example, my sister recently bought a handmade Etsy shelf, and she absolutely loves it. And I've seen so many other examples of this in other friends' houses as well. So if you can create things around home and DIY, whether it's a t-shirt, a mug, or something else entirely, there's a good chance it might sell on this platform. This seems to be one of the hottest markets on Etsy currently and has been for a long time. The next one is funny aprons for cooks. To be honest, I kind of fell into this one by accident after I stumbled on a store that was successfully selling a bunch of these, but for some reason they sell. I've had a lot of success in this niche, and I highly recommend that you search Etsy, find some successful designs, and then put your own spin on them. Now, we touched on the fact that a lot of women shop on this site, which is exactly why the next niche does so well. Gifts for him. Women buy their boyfriends, their husbands, their kids, their dads, their significant others, you name it, all sorts of gifts, and this is the best place to showcase them. For example, the right Father's Day stuff always does well on this site, but don't just limit yourself to that. There's Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, Valentine's Day, and a number of others. And when the holidays get closer and the need to shop for those gifts is approaching, women will return to a familiar site that they shop on frequently, which is obviously Etsy. The next category that you should list is around specific groups of people. So this works for a number of reasons, but the main reason being that there's a lot of search traffic for shirts like this, this, and there tends to be a lot less competition on them, especially if this is a niche that you know something about specifically and you have an advantage. So for example, if you're familiar with Harry Potter, most people are, the main house is Gryffindor, and then the other three houses are Slytherin, Hufflepuff, and Ravenclaw. And there's a lot of designs based around Gryffindor because that's the most popular house, and the main character Harry Potter is based in that house. And the other ones aren't so popular because they're secondary to the storyline. But one of the best designs I've ever created was based around Hufflepuff. And I believe that's because there's a certain segment of people that connect with this house specifically, and there's also a lot less competition on these types of designs. Not to mention it's something that someone would specifically search for, which is huge. Designs around dropshipping are another example of one that I've had success creating t-shirts around. A, because I know a lot about it and I can really make niche specific shirts, and because I have an advantage over most designers that might not know the category as well as I might. This is more of an art than a science, and it's going to depend a lot on what you already know a lot about, but these specific groups can really sell well if you create good designs. Another great niche that you should look into is tech. An example that I've had success with within this niche is a simple shirt that said Android is better than Apple. It was a little greater sign. This is also another example of a niche specific group like we just covered as well, because the majority of people, at least in the United States, are Apple people and have an iPhone. However, a smaller portion of people do like Android better, and so this shirt really appeals to them. Finally, a bonus one if you stayed this long is cars and automotive. Now, I've had a lot of success within this niche on dropshipping on sites like Facebook Marketplace and Facebook Shops. And so I decided to test it on Etsy as well with print on demand designs, and it didn't disappoint. The reason this does so well is because anybody that loves cars tends to be super passionate about it. It literally runs in their blood. So a similar example of a popular shirt that I sold a bunch on Etsy is the Ford is greater than Chevy shirt. Now, I have absolutely no idea which brand is better or why, but I have learned that Ford guys are Ford guys and Chevy guys, well, they're Chevy guys. People get very passionate about this, and I've learned that through selling them. I also had a shirt in this niche that literally blew up for a month before Etsy took it down, and that was a cartoon version of a person wearing a Chevy shirt that was peeing on a Ford logo. So trust me when I say there's a lot of passion in this niche and a lot of potential profit. There you have it though, the 10 best print-on-demand niches for Etsy dropshipping. None of this matters though if your designs aren't well done. And one of the best tips that I've ever received when it comes to designing t-shirts for Etsy specifically is people like to wear their beliefs and their personalities. So if you can design shirts that people will see and immediately think, yes, that's me, and want to wear it so that the world knows that, you'll do extremely well. I highly recommend checking out my latest Etsy dropshipping tutorial so you can take the guesswork out of designing and find proven designs that you know will sell. You can watch that by clicking the video up on the screen right now. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you got any value from it whatsoever, please give it a like. I really appreciate it. Until next time.